Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Switch to Birth Season 3, Episode 10, The Auction. And this was another really good episode, definitely a great episode to leave us before that finale, which I think the finale is going to be really good. Now, my only complaint about this episode is we're back to the Regina plot, and it was boring in this episode. I don't want to talk about Regina. Really, all there is to say is that her boss is being hard on her. That's all there really is to say there. I don't find it that interesting. Everything else is so much more interesting. It's no longer interests me. And that was the only thing that made this episode from not being really, really good. The rest of this episode, though, was really good. I think I want to talk about the thing that I was most looking forward to in this episode, because I've been wanting it for a while. The return of Nikki. Nikki and Toby, Nikki came back, finally, to talk to Toby. And basically, all Nikki and Toby are doing are having sex. That's basically all they're doing. And you can clearly see, right as soon as they're done having sex, they have sex, and then Toby's like, oh, I gotta go to work, and you can clearly see something's not working out for them. And she ends up telling him that she's only there for 2 days. And it ends up getting crazier and crazier for her. And she does bring up the whole job opportunity thing, that she talked to him about. And he said he wants to stay there. And she basically says she doesn't know how this is going to work when, she basically says to him that she doesn't know how this is going to work when she's halfway across the country, in a completely different continent from him. And he really starts to think of, Toby really starts to think about his relationship with her, and that he really starts to think, this really is not going to work out very well at all. So, unfortunately for them, they actually ended up breaking up and getting a divorce. I think, you see him crying, he's really upset, and he really is upset that it didn't work out. It's kind of sad it didn't work out for them. However, my one complaint is, we spent a whole second half of the season basically focusing on them, and now they're getting a divorce. So I really hope that they don't get this divorce. I hope they work this out, and I hope that Nikki decides to stay with Toby. And she made this comment in saying, I feel like this is what I was born to do, was to be where she is, and in order for that to happen, they had to separate. It really is sad, but that's what ended up happening. Now let's go to Bay. Bay's plot was very interesting in this episode, because we didn't really know what was going to happen between her and Tank, or if Ty was going to come back in the picture. We really weren't sure. In this episode, though, Tank was being very cold towards her, and she really needed Tank's help with something. She needed his help with Buckner, because as we know, she used to go to Buckner school, and she's competing against Buckner in the field hockey team, and because of this happening, they have pulled a prank on them, so she wants to get her revenge, and Tank is helping her get the revenge, basically ruining one of their statues. Very funny, actually. I thought it was funny the way that was working. But everything seems to be going well until they're locked in the school, and Tank kind of pressures her to have sex, and she isn't really ready to go that far with Tank yet. And he snaps at her and everything, and she's really upset. But then Tank does tell her, and I was happy that Tank is not a douchebag. He really is a nice guy. He says to her, look, I'm sorry, if you don't want to have sex, we don't have to. If you're not ready to go into that part of our relationship yet, we don't have to do that. We can just be a happy couple and have fun. And I like that Tank did that, because it really shows that he is a very good guy, and I'm happy that he did that. I also like that Bay and Emmett are starting to get closer and closer every episode, and Bay actually does something to Emmett in this episode. His girlfriend, his internet girlfriend, she actually wants her to send a picture of her to him, basically probably worried, Emmett wanted a picture of her, and Bay is very worried that this picture is not her, and that this is a complete fraud, so she's very worried, but at the same time, she doesn't want to hurt Emmett, so we're going to have to see what happens there next week. I hope everything works out for them. I hope for the best, but I'm not sure, what's going to happen there. We're just going to have to see. And also, the field hockey game did go on, And they actually did pretty well. They didn't win, but they played a really great game, and it really just showed the teamwork that they're going through. And I really did like seeing that a lot. It was really good. Now the other storyline had to do with Daphne. Let's go to Daphne. Daphne, is still torn between Jorge and Campbell. Finally, in this episode, she actually makes a decision. She didn't officially make the decision, but she basically did. She's talking to Catherine, and Catherine can clearly see she likes Campbell more than Jorge. And she decides to go on a date with Campbell, try it out, and it all seems to be going well for them. It really does. It seems like they have a nice relationship and everything, and I like the two of them together. I want the two of them together, actually, because I like them. And it seems like it's going well for them. It does. They're having a nice conversation, and it just seems like everything's going really well. Until, Daphne tells him that, look, you're a really nice guy and all, and it's not that I don't like you, it's that I don't know if I can date, both you and Jorge. I don't know if I can date you when Jorge's around. And basically, she says, what would it be like? And before she can say anything else, he kisses her. So, we're going to have to see what happens there. I'm not really sure what's going to happen there. We're just going to have to see. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens between the two of them, because there's a lot of, it's going to be really interesting, I think. I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen there, because I think it's going to be really, really big to see what happens there. I really like that part of the episode, though, because it really shows the difference between Campbell and Jorge. I really like seeing that a lot. And the only other thing I want to talk about is Sheree. Now, Sheree's kind of having this one problem where she's not sure what she wants to do after school. She's not planning on going to college. However, Toby does tell her about this field hockey, college that she could go to. And she seems kind of interested in it. So I'm wondering where that's going to go. We're going to have to see, I guess. But I liked Sheree's storyline. I like that they did give more focus to Sheree, because I'm really enjoying her character this season. I hope she sticks around, and this isn't like a one-time thing. I really hope she sticks around for a lot of the series, because I really like her character a lot. She really has grown a lot, since the show. She really has grown a lot in this season, and I think she just is a really great character, and I've really loved her character all season. And, the only other thing, now let's just quickly talk about Regina. And as I said with Regina, there's not much going on there. Basically, her boss is just being very hard on her, and she thinks it's because of, him being racist, and him, because of the color of her skin. It's very interesting between that storyline. I do really enjoy that storyline. I am interested in seeing where that's going to go. And I really like that storyline. I think it's a good one. So that was basically the episode. And was this a perfect episode of Switch the Birth? No, it was not the best episode of the season. I felt it was a good episode, but not the best episode of the season. However, it was a really strong episode. A lot happened in this episode, too. I mean, we found out, we found out, who Daphne likes, Campbell or Jorge, and I'm assuming she's going to be with Campbell now. We also got to see Nikki and Toby have some problems. I was glad we saw the return of Nikki finally. It was about time we saw her again. We got to see Bay and Tank kind of resolve things. However, it looks like next week she might actually be falling for Emmett, and she's just not afraid to admit it, that she still loves Emmett. So I'm guessing some really bad's going to happen with her and Tank, and we're just going to have to see. It also looks like next week, Adriana is going to basically tell Regina to fight back and do something about this abuse she's getting from her boss, because she should not be treated this way. I do like this storyline. It's just kind of boring, honestly. I'm not paying much attention to it. It looks like Nikki and Toby's going to feel really bad for what he did to Nikki. Breaking up with Nikki. He's going to want to be back with her. So we're going to see what happens in the finale. Now, I'm really looking forward to this finale. Now, before I talk about the finale, let me talk about this half of the season as a whole so far. How have I liked it? I've really liked this half of the season. However, there was one thing that they did not have in this episode, John and Catherine. I would have wanted a little bit more interaction from them. But, they're basically resolving things. I just want to see them, completely resolve things, I want to know that everything's okay between them, and it's never going to be that bad again. I really enjoyed that storyline, though. By the way, What the fuck happened to Renzo? I loved his character, and now he's gone. And I really wish Renzo would come back, because I really liked his character, and he's not there now. So I wish Renzo would come back, because he added so much to the show, and I loved his character a lot, and now he's not on the show. The one thing that I have not liked about the season has been I've told you guys, the Jorge and Campbell stuff has been really boring and really dry. Nothing much to that. Also, the whole Regina plot has been very weak this half of the season. I mean, it got stronger, but it's not the strongest thing the show has done. I think the best plot this season definitely goes to John and Catherine. They've had the best plot all season. Or Toby. Toby's plot was really good. And Bay's plot was good too. So overall, I think my favorite storyline though this season was definitely the Sheree storyline. I really enjoyed that storyline a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the rest of that goes. But that's basically it for this review. Let me know what you guys saw of this episode. What's gonna happen with Toby and Nikki? Do you think they're gonna resolve things? What's gonna happen there? Bay and Tank, do you think they're gonna be okay? I'm not really sure. Is the person that Emmett is dating, a real person, or is Emmett about to get himself into some really serious trouble? What about Sheree? Is Sheree gonna take this possible job at the field hockey? Is Daphne gonna choose that she likes Campbell? Do you think that whole thing is done? And also, how's Regina gonna fight back? And I really hope we get some John and Catherine stuff as well. Alright, that's it for my review. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the Fosters. So, see you then. Bye.